Ashus Eikev, Tovshim Pei Hey, welcome to the weekly Zera Shimshon Shiur. This week we'll learn Ois Vav in Zera Shimshon, a nifladige piece, a beautiful and profound idea. The pasuk says, Es Hashem Elokecha Tira, fear the Eibishter. Ois Savoid, you should worship the Eibishter. Uvoi Sidbak, and you should be Mekayim, the mitzvah of Dveikus. And then you can swear using the Eibishter's name. Medrash says the Medrash. The pasuk is telling us there's a condition. If you want to be able to make a shvur that we will trust, or if you want to make a shvur at all, it's only if you have these two conditions. Only if you have Zera Shimshon and you have Dveikus and Eibishter. If you have these midas, these characteristics, then you can swear using the Eibishter's name. If you don't have Zera Shimshon and you don't have Dveikus and the Eibishter, then we will not allow you to swear, and your shvur won't be accepted. But Tzarachian frag the Heilige Zera Shimshon, why? Lama li kol hanemidas. You want to make a shvur. We've never seen that this person lies. He doesn't have Zera Shimshon. He doesn't have Dveikus. Why is he not allowed to swear if he doesn't have those characteristics? Ve'inyan hu explains the Heilige Zera Shimshon. Shmi she'iloi yesh Zera Shimshon, a person that's not fearful of the Eibishter, bevadai she'einu rishoy l'shava. Why is that? The Gemara says in Masechta Shavuos, Kol ha'olam kuloi nizdazeh. The entire world trembled and shook. A person that swears falsely, he is shaking up the underpinnings of the world. Because of a shvur sheker, the world starts to tremble. What's the understanding? I once saw a thing from Rav Pinkus. The Eibishter created this world with shemos of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The essence of the world, the kiyum of the world, what holds up this planet is the Eibishter's names. So if you have a person that swears falsely and uses Hashem's name to swear falsely, he's going to shake the very beams, the very underpinnings of this world. So when the Eibishter says, Lo yisishava lishmi lashaka, lo yisisa shem Hashem elokech lashav, the whole world began to tremble. Nimtzanu l'meidim, we learn from here, Sheshvur shav meshcheses ha'olam. A false shvur destroys the world. Va'yira shamayim mekeyemes ha'olam. What gives the world a kiyum, what gives the world sustenance and continuity is Zera Shimshon. Umi she'emo Zera Shimshon, somebody that doesn't fear the Eibishter, eina mishtadlo makbid v'kiyam ha'olam. A person that doesn't have Zera Shimshon clearly doesn't care that the world should survive, the world should exist. The only reason why we trust people to make a shvur is because people are terrified about destroying the world, because the world can't last if we make shvur sheker. But a man that doesn't have Zera Shimshon, he is anyway not so interested in the kiyum ha'olam. Therefore, we can't allow him to make a shvur, and we can't trust him with using Hashem's name to prove his point. And then he continues. That's the understanding of Zera Shimshon being a precondition for making a shvur. But what about like sidbak? And this is what I wanted to get to. The pasuk says something else. There's another condition. If you want to make a shvur that we will trust, you have to have Dveikus and Eibishter. Why is that necessary? Explains the Heilige Zera Shimshon. What is Dveikus? Dveikus is, say Chazal, Gemilas Chatzadim. How can a person be Mekayim Dveikus? Can a person attach himself to the Shechina? The Eibishter is Eish Hoichlehu. The Eibishter is a ball of fire. Say Chazal, you know what the translation of Dveikus is? To emulate the Eibishter's midas. Mahu goymel chasadim, af ato goymel chasadim. Like the Eibishter does chesed, you too shdu chesed. Like the Eibishter is malbish harumim, you should be malbish harumim. The Eibishter is matir asurim, you should be matir asurim. That's called Dveikus. Going in the ways of the Eibishter. And the Gemara says in the Avodah Zarah, kol oisim b'Torah bilvad, somebody that only learns Torah and is not involved in chesed, it's like he doesn't have a God. Therefore, the Eikev shel Shoavei be'emes, a person that doesn't do chesed is a person that the Gemara calls him Ein Lo Elokah. He has no God. He doesn't have a God. How do we trust him to use Hashem's name to make a shvur? Amnon, then he continues. A person that is about chesed, his shvur can be trusted. His shvurs are authentic. Why is it so that a person that doesn't do chesed is somebody that we consider that doesn't have a God? In beginning of Beis, the original plan of the Eikev was to create the world with Midas Hadin, as it says in the pasuk, Bereishis bara Elokim is Midas Hadin. That was the plan. Rosh in the oilam miskayim. The Eikev just saw it's not going to work. If there's only Midas Hadin, the smallest sin that a yid will do will cause the whole world to be destroyed. Hashem says it's not going to work. Shitef ima Midas Rachmim. Therefore, Hashem combined Rachmim to Din, and that's how we have this world, as the pasuk says, B'yoyim hasois Hashem elakim. The Eikev made this world with Midas Harachmim, Midas Hadin together. Kim Tachais. A person that doesn't do chesed, he's living only in the world of Din. He's not ready to do chesed. In the world of such a person that's only doing Din, no chesed, then the world has no kiyum. The world can't survive. The world can't last. How do we expect from a person that doesn't do chesed to make a shvur that will be true? When a person makes a shvur, as we said, he has to have fear that the world will be destroyed. And that will ensure and that will inspire him to make sure what he's saying is truthful. What do we do to ensure the world has a kiyum? When we do chesed, then we are showing that we don't live a life only of din, we live a life of chesed, of rachmim. And that causes that the Eikev in Shemayim adds the rachmim to the din, and that's how this world has a kiyum. But if you have this individual that says, I'm not into chesed, it's not my thing, then this person's only involved in din. He's not meshatev chesed. In his world, there's no world. The way he's living, the world has no way to survive. Because the world can only survive when we are meshatev chesed to the din. But this person's not ready to meshatev chesed to din. So in his world, there's no reason how this world can coexist. And therefore, this person won't be trusted to make a shvur. Says the pasuk, beautiful, says the Zera Shimshon. You want to make a shvur? We have to first see that you care that this world will survive. You do your utmost, anything in your capacity, to make sure that this world has continuity. What's that? Zera Shimshon. Number two, you do chesed. And when you do chesed, then you meshatev midas harachim to midas hadin, and that causes the world to have a kiyum. And therefore, says the pasuk, as Hashem lekech atira, u'boy sidboik, u'boy sidbok, and you have the vekas, they will trust you if it's shmoy tishavei. And let me add a most magnificent insight I saw for Pinkas. There is a time when we erase Hashem's name. We just said the underpinnings of the world is Hashem's name. But there is a time when Hashem says, erase my name. You know when that is? When there is a couple that are separated. There is a parsha saita. And the shalom bayis isn't the way it should be, and they are going different ways. Says the Eikev, get my name, erase it, put it in the water, in order for this couple to come together again. Says Reb Pinkas, half-level fella, erasing Hashem's name means that we're destroying the world. The world was created with Hashem's name. So how do we allow Hashem's name to be erased? And the answer is because of something that brings the world together again more than Hashem's name, which is shalom bayis. When a couple are there for each other, they are doing chesed, and they are giving, and they're being mavata, and there's harmony and there's peace, that is building the world. So Hashem says, I'm ready to sacrifice to erase my name, which really means I'm shaping the world in order to be Mekayim the world with shalom bayis, with shechina b'tachtonim. And I conclude with one more insight. The Gemara tells us in Masechtas Brachos, Cheskiyah HaMelech was not Mekayim Pruvu. He was not ready to get married. And he was very sick and very ill. And Yeshaya Navi comes to visit him. And Yeshaya Navi tells him, Cheskia Melech, Mois Tomus V'loi Sichye, you're going to die and you're not going to live. Says the Gemara, that's repetitive. If he's going to die, he's not going to live. Says the Gemara, Mois Tomus B'oilam Hazeh, V'loi Sichye L'oilam Haba. You're finished. No life in this world and no life in the world to come. Why? What did they do wrong? Says Yeshaya Navi in the name of the Eibishter, you didn't do the mitzvah of getting married. For not getting married, such a harsh punishment. It's only a bittul mitzvah say. So why does he deserve to get such a harsh einish? No oilam hazeh, no oilam haba. Explain the Heilige Yismach Moshe, a profound thought. The Eibishter created this world with midas hadin, as we said. Bereshis bara Elokim. What caused the Eibishter to add a dosage of midas harachmim was the fact he saw that this world can't continue, can't last. It won't survive with midas hadin. So therefore Hashem added a dosage of rachmim to ensure that the world will have a kiyum, the world will have continuity. So the Heilige Yismach Moshe Zechus Yagen Aleinu. To the extent that a person's worried about kiyum olam, to that extent he gets the dosage of rachmim. But a person that doesn't do anything to ensure the hemshech olam, he doesn't get the dosage of midas harachmim. Says Yeshaya Navi to Cheskia Melech. When a person gets married, then he's doing something to ensure continuity. He's doing something to ensure hemshech hadoros. There'll be generations and generations, and the world will be a place that's inhabited. Then he will be zoicha to that dosage of rachmim, because you're also doing for the kiyum olam. But if you are not getting married and you're not doing anything to make sure the world is niskayim, then you're not zoicha to that midas harachmim that was only put into play in order that the world should have a kiyum. And therefore, Hashem will judge you with midas hadin. Once Hashem judges somebody with midas hadin per se, then we say, Al tavai b'mishpat imanu, nobody can survive din. So Cheskia Melech was going to lose his oilam hazeh and his oilam haba because Hashem will judge him with midas hadin. Why will Hashem judge him with midas hadin? Because he's not doing anything for the kiyum oilam. He's not ready to get married. So any small avera, any small chait, any small infraction will cause him to lose oilam hazeh and oilam haba. It's only when it's pruvu, only when it's marriages. It's only when Klal Yisrael come together to ensure kiyum olam, then they get the dosage of rachmim. But the more a person does to do chesed, the more rachmim he bestows upon people, the more his zoichev and nasl harachmim rechamecha. Hashem will bestow on him a higher dosage of rachmim, and then the world has a kiyum nitzchi. This is a time in the summer when we're together with our families, together with people. It's a time to focus. The more rachmim, the more chesed, the more goodness and the more kindness we can do, the more we will zoicha be mamtik the midas hadin ba'olam and to be zoicha to rachmim v'chasadim gedolim. May the schus of the Heilige Zera Shimshon Yagen Badeinu levasha b'tvayishua v'rachmim that every single yid should be zoicha to have children, to have eniklach, to have ur-eniklach, and to inhabit the world with children and eniklach, shomer Torah mitzvahs. Shabbos.